All right, welcome to 2 Point Tuesdays. We are going to switch over. We played a little 2 Point Hospital a couple weeks ago, but 2 Point Campus came out. I happened to be sick when it came out, so we didn't get to stream on launch day, but feeling better now. Sore throat is gone, so I'm hoping to actually be able to stream and talk about this really cool game. So I was able to play it a bit. So this won't be like a first impression. I built a testing grounds, but I started to work out some tips and tricks and different things like that. So I hope to pass that information along to you guys as well. But for the stream, we are going to go ahead and start a brand new campus and go from the very beginning and just kind of work through different things. I don't know if some of the like templates and stuff that I've created in the other stream or the other game will come through. But we shall see. Okay, if you're not familiar with the 2 Point Campus, 2 Point games fall into the theme hospital, roller coaster tycoon style of games. So this one just happens to be creating a campus. They throw a humoristic slant at everything. So let's go ahead and get things started. So we're not going to continue, but I will show you that I was messing around, so I've gotten through, let's see, I've 3-starred 5 different campuses in testing mode. So that is there. But we're going to start a brand new game. But I think I will go ahead and we'll delete that one out of there. That was one I was just messing with earlier today. All right. Let's see what this game has to offer. All right, so hopefully from the introduction you can tell it takes a humorous slant on things. All right, welcome to 2 Point County. I'm Albert Crank, your own personal advisor, and I'm here to help. You may not have any experience as a campus administrator, but the people of Freshleigh County College are eager to give you a chance. I'm not sure what this says about them, but hey, let's head to Freshleigh Meadows and get started on your academic empire. All right, so structurally, it plays a lot like Theme or the 2 Point Hospital. You go from section to section, and each one kind of builds up and gives you a different challenge to try to make. In this case, campus to campus, you get a different set or a new set of classes that you can offer and everything like that. Also, it's very centric around the students and not just the staff. So in 2 Point Hospital, where you had patients, they would come in, they would get treated, and they would leave. They weren't really that important as individuals. In this case, you actually have students to stay from year to year to year, so meeting their needs is also important. Also, this first one is very tutorial driven. So we're going to see some of the tutorial aspects, and I'll comment on some of the game designy elements of that as well. As a general rule of thumb, though, I do like that you can jump right into the game, have no experience with it, and be able to say, hey, here's all the bits and pieces that make everything work. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to name our, I guess, organization. We'll call this Deconstruction Livestream. That way I'll keep it separate from my other playthrough. It looks like I spelled everything correctly. So what that will do is it does keep a leaderboard. Interesting. So these are from my other playthroughs, but it actually pulled the organization name and not the testing grounds one. So that's just kind of a, as I dig into this, it looks like me as a player are on these leaderboards, not necessarily my individual save files, because this will be the last one that I've played, but I don't have these stats from this playthrough. So I find that pretty interesting that, it doesn't separate those. And what I mean by that is, this playthrough, let's go ahead and we will go back to the main menu. We'll save this so we don't have to watch that. So now I have two different playthroughs. Right, so if I go to load my game, and let's say I load up my testing version that I've been playing around with, and now we'll go back to that high score. Right now it says testing ground. So this organization name is just pulling from the last one that I played, as opposed to my individual saves. The player is the same, but that is actually different. So this data is all from my different playthroughs. Now, something that will be interesting, we'll check this towards the end, is will I get 2 entries for Freshleigh Meadows up here now, since I'll be playing through on a second playthrough. Also, we'll check that as we go back into that, because I don't think this is their Kudash. Is that what they call it? I can never pronounce it right. It's kind of the unlock currency of the game. I would guess that's going to be linked to the individual playthroughs. Otherwise, if everything's unlocked for my second playthrough, it's going to make life a lot easier. And I'm not sure that I necessarily agree with that. So let's take a look when we get back into this one. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have any unlocked on this one. So I'll be checking a few things like that as well. So you notice this is set to 0. But interesting enough. Okay, so that updated. Right, so this is linked to an individual account, and so now that's been reset to 0 as opposed to 9,700. And my stars also have been reset. I was at 15 stars. Career, so it's set all of these down below, but some of this other stuff it's pulling from my other playthrough. So interesting. Not sure what's going on in the back end for the data there, but I don't know what that button does. Oh, okay. Just allows you to filter some stuff out. All right, so enough of that. Let's see. I think that's all the stuff on the main interface here. Yep. We got settings and different things like that, but let's go ahead and get into the game. Low expectations and a nice canal. This first one isn't too terribly hard. And again, they do use this as a kind of a tutorial, so that's kind of nice.
It's not something that one simply opens, like a savings account or a jar of pickles. Any self-respecting academic institution was doubtlessly opened long ago by dignified people who wore bowler hats and spoke via subtitle. The world is a creation of the past, and it is our job to keep it all going and try not to touch anything.
All right, so we are in. So this is going to kind of walk us through some of the basics of the game. I'll also try to throw in some tips and tricks that I've learned after playing. So welcome to Freshleigh Meadows, where life moves slowly and expectations are lowly. The 2 Point countryside is the perfect place to start your career. Learn the ropes, make mistakes, and hit the ground smiling. So Scientography. Scientography. I don't know if they ever say it out loud. Interesting. Okay, so student intake, we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so this is our campus. First thing I'm going to do is hit the space bar to pause. Although in this mode, one thing that's different between this and hospital is how time works. And we'll talk about that as we get there. So welcome to campus. Before you start churning out geniuses, you'll need to learn the basics of campus management. Try moving your camera and having a look around. Okay, so this is something I like. So they're giving us some mouse controls. They're also giving us actual objectives to meet, right, as we actually do this stuff. So here's our mouse controls, and it should show keyboard controls as well. Either one works. So for instance, I'm going to go ahead and right click and pan, and you'll notice that this updates here. Then I'll hit the A key and the D key, and it updates as well. So I'm just going to go through these real quick. So there's some zoom, there's some rotate, there's some pitch, and then we meet all those requirements. All right, our campus is going to be running a Scientography? I don't know. I'm never going to say that right. We'll call this a science course. Let's start by building a science lab. So here it's actually giving you some stuff already. We've got a campus set up, and we've got, this is a lecture room. And so it's wanting us to build another lab. One thing that they have changed in the old game, what you could do is some of your decorations, and it's not showing me all of them right now. You could go in here and you could stack stuff up to build room prestige. Now the actual number of decorations of any type has a diminishing returns. I started to throw some numbers on it, and it's like 100% for the first one. Most of them are about 70% for the second one. The third one gets you down to like 40%, and then it drops off significantly after the third. Also, I signed up for the newsletters and different things like that. So I've got some of these items are part of the gifts that you get for that. Also, the purple toilets. The royal flush toilets is part of that. Okay, so it's already given us a room and a campus. Now we can expand. So if we click over here, we can just grab this land and pay for it, or have it automatically build a building. So that white outline is a building. There is another one here, but you don't have to take the default building if you don't want. So we can expand here. We can expand here. So that's all part of the expansion process. And also, I can create and add to this building, right? So, if I wanted to take that corner out or different things like that, you can go in and actually edit, right? So if I wanted to bring this part of the building all the way down to the street. There we go. Come on. Right, so I could actually expand that part of the building, or vice versa. We're not going to do that. I could come in here, and let's say I wanted to put something else here, right? I could actually remove that section of the building. So we have a lot of access like that. Another difference from 2 Point Hospital is we can actually decorate outside as well. So we have these campus grounds, and we have external things, but we also have a complete terrain package. And this doesn't cost anything. It's more to make things look pretty. So if I wanted to, going off what they already have here, if I wanted to build a path across here, right, I can. So I can actually pretty up my thing. Now this doesn't have any gameplay effect. The items themselves will, right? So if I want to put down, a bench here, let's try to find something that increases our attractiveness. There we go. So if I put down, this, you can see that the attractiveness of outside is actually impacted as well. So we'll turn that off. There was an older game. So this plays a lot like 2 Point Hospital, but it is campus. All right, so let's go back into this mode. We're going to fix our grass here. So I'm just going to turn that back into grass. But, if you wanted to put down rocks, if you want to put down, they've got different types of grass. So there's like 3 different flavors. I think there's dirt. There you go. So, but again, this is just cosmetic. This has no real gameplay effects here. Now, the objects themselves do. Okay, let's get back inside. So, getting back to our interior, we're going to follow along with the tutorial here. It wants us to build a science lab. The science lab has to be at least 5 by 5. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. And I messed that one up. All right, science lab. And we'll make it 5 by 5. We'll give it a door. And it's going to have default items that you have to put in. In this case, we've got to put the science hub and the science board. So for right now, we'll just go ahead and stick that there. We'll stick this right in the middle. And that completes the room. You'll notice it gets a little prestige. Also has a cap of how many people can work at it. Yeah, 2 Point Hospital was the game. It came out 4 or 5 years ago. They've added a lot of expansions to Hospital. I didn't keep up with them all, but so now let's hire a teacher to run our first Scientography. I think I said it right that time. Class. Okay, but we're going to do a couple other things here. So the first thing we're going to do is if you click on an actual room, it's going to give you a bunch of different stuff. You got an attractiveness, you got temperature. Now in this campus, temperature doesn't make any difference. Sometimes you have to put in heaters or air conditioners. It'll tell you, some stats. It'll also tell you if you got any bonuses, for the room or anything like that. And also what can be available in here. Now, this is the only program we have. If I click on this version, it'll show me stuff that can only be in here. Whereas if I click on this version, you'll notice that stuff doesn't show up. So we do have some different categories. Now, it hasn't unlocked everything for me yet. So we can't really stack this room up. Now, what I often do in my playthroughs is I'll start to unlock posters and just start sticking posters on the wall to get the room prestige up. But right now, there's not much we can do there. But we do want to mess around with this attractiveness. So I'm going to turn the attractiveness overlay on. You can get to that down here. So if you click on attractiveness, this is how nice your room looks. Or you can hit the number pad 1. We'll toggle that on and off. So I'm going to toggle that on. We're going to go ahead and pitch our camera up here. And I'm going to pick this up and kind of center it right in the middle of the room so that we can grab some plants. Now, we got plenty of money. Plants do require things to be watered. Otherwise, they'll die. Will it let me put these in here? Yeah. So notice it says invalid room for the plant. So let's go ahead and get out of this items mode. Go into this one. So for right now, we're just going to go ahead and stack some plants in here. We'll put a plant there. Let's go diagonal. Put a plant there. And what are we at for 85%? What's that get us to? Probably 4. Okay, so we're 100% for attractiveness. So that'll make the people in the room happier. We're also going to do a couple of other things. Don't know why they're not showing up here yet. We should get a bin and a hand sanitizer. Let's go ahead and go out to this mode. Nope. So right now, because I haven't done everything I'm supposed to do, it's a little bit limited. So we'll go with that for right now. Okay. So the next thing it's asking me to do is hire a science teacher. So here's our hiring tab. You can click on the people. I'm going to go ahead and unpause here now so that we can start to get some new applicants. But this is a pretty good one. We're not probably going to get higher than a level 1 right here at the beginning anyway. They move around fast, not a big deal, but they don't litter or anything like that. So we're going to hire them. Now, if you want to, once we get our Kudosh, how do you pronounce it? Kudosh, I think. I can start to unlock different outfits for them. Not the best use of this currency at the beginning, so we're not going to change them. There's not really a preview for this, unfortunately. I wish there was. I haven't found one. But that can change a little bit about the way they look. All right. Great work. we now have everything we need to run our Scientography course. When you're ready, select Start Next Year to welcome our first year students. Okay, so there's all kinds of stuff that we still need to do. Now it's going to walk you through all that stuff, so I'm going to try to play this one, and I don't think I can get ahead anyway. We have to build dorms, we have to do all kinds of stuff. Now one thing I want to check. Okay, so it does have a couple of these in here. Okay, it has the ones that I can do. So these aren't going to work, but I will show you a difference. So here is a lecture room that I have built compared to the lecture room that they have built. Now you'll see all of those little $sign bags. That's all stuff that I have in this room that I don't have unlocked in this playthrough. So for instance, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but in the back right corner, you'll see there's like speakers. And the bottom here, you'll see like, I'm pointing at my screen. You guys can't see what I'm pointing at, but next to the left and the right of the lectern there's speakers. There's little teleprompters. All along the walls, there's all kinds of little posters and different things like that. That's all stuff that I've stacked in there to get the prestige higher in the room. But the nice part about this is once you get a room built the way you like it, you can save it as a template and then just copy it and paste it. And we'll do some of that here in a little bit. Also, there's a whole course management thing it hasn't introduced to us yet. We'll talk about that. But I think we're going to go ahead and move forward. Let's go ahead and grab this room. And we'll stick it back there. Okay, so we have a lecture theater and we have a science lab. Let's move this to there. And it will make a difference, right? So let's look at the difference. Like it's 86% done like that. If I drag this back, you're going to see it's only 79%. So, you know, these have a radius. So trying to get them as clean as you can. Okay, we're going to end up replacing that later, but for right now, let's stick with what it wants us to do. So we're going to start our year. Now, one of the things that's different about this than 2 Point Hospital is classes are actually scheduled. So you have to have enough staff and rooms to schedule out the classes. So as of right now, you'll notice that we've got first year students coming in. Next year, we'll have second year students and first year students. So our class schedule will be different. And right now, I don't have enough teachers because the teacher can't be in two places at once. But that's a next year problem. All right, let's go ahead and unpause, and we're going to see people start to show up on campus. We've got some trash, so we're going to have to hire a janitor here pretty soon. Okay, students are arriving on campus. Are you nervous? Why am I nervous? So something else that's different is down here at the bottom, you'll see we have the year. This happens, you can run this at different speeds. So right now it's paused. But also the between years during summer is like infinite, which is kind of cool. It allows you to kind of make changes to your campus and do everything, although you can always pause. Okay, so here come our students. There is I think it's scripted. We're going to find the goth guy. I think it's our teacher. Yeah, it's our teacher. Okay, so we'll start to see, you know, that we have students. The first thing that they're going to try to do is go to their first class. They have a whole set of stats. They have a mood. They have needs. They have environment, you know, whether they're in a good environment, temperature, the prestige level, you know, all this kind of stuff impacts them. Now, what's interesting is every student also has a learning rate. So that student's 104, 103, 95. So they have this base number, but also these things impact their learning rates. So it's in your best interest to make them happy. Then they have traits and different things like that. So you can track all of their information. So the first thing we're going to do is we've got this big, ugly campus right now. There's nothing in it. Now, we don't have a lot we could do. And if you haven't unlocked the the free stuff here. Well, it's not free to place, but this will make a difference. Now you'll notice that windows make a difference, right? There's an attractiveness level there. But what we're going to do is we're just going to jazz up the place. So we'll start there. And all I'm going to do is just do this so that for temporary purposes, we have a very attractive, I'm going to air quote attractive there, campus. And this is based off the game mechanics. So this is just me manipulating the game mechanics. Because I have plenty of money to start this first one, they give you plenty. There's no reason not to use it. So we're going to go ahead and just place these things all over the place. Also, this will make our, let's turn that off. The building itself here, the campus building, it also has a prestige, right? And so as I place these things, you can see it's not moving a lot now, but the attractiveness level, we've gotten it up to 95%, 96. We'll throw one there. Throw one there. Now, the nice part about this kind of a game, or the way the 2 Point does this stuff, is by doing this, you don't lose money. Now, what I mean by that is I can sell these things back off and I'll get 100% of the money back. And so it's not like this is, necessarily wasted. Those are a little bit close. That's getting a little bit too crazy. We'll put one there. We'll spread these out a little bit more. So while I'm using up a whole bunch of money just to make my place look nicer, right? We need one right there. There we go. If I need that money, I can just sell all that stuff off, which isn't a big deal. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to cancel out of that. We're going to find a person. So we'll take this person here. So they've got a happiness rating. Let's watch them as they walk into the attractive part of campus, right? So prestige is going up. You'll see that the attractiveness is going up. Their learning rate, now see how their learning rate is climbing up. And so by making the campus prettier, right? So if I go back to these kind of stats, their environment is improving because they're walking through this highly attractive campus now, which means their learning rate is going to go up. With their learning rate going up, it means they also level faster, which means you get money based off of your students leveling as well and doing well. So having stuff like this, can be very good. So we're going to go ahead. No, it's not going to let me do what I was just thinking about doing. I don't think it'll let me put these in here. Nope. All right, back to the plant. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to 4 plant this room as opposed to 2 plants that it was before. And let's check our attractiveness, 92%. So let's just do a little tweak here. Now, eventually you get to the point where you might not tweak quite this much. I'm not sure why we're at 99, but we'll make another little change here. There we go. So that one's at 100. So the students are going to be sitting in this room, right? So while it's good to have the attractiveness out here on the campus, the actual rooms themselves is where they're going to be spending their time in class. Well, I want that to be high so that we get those learning buffs. So once you start to figure out some of these game mechanics, again, this attractiveness is going up. I'm guessing they're going to go to class here first. I don't know which one is first. Okay, I'm going to turn that filter off, though. The other thing I want to find is, where is our goth guy? I've started a few different versions. There he is. Oh, no. Oh, okay, he's yeah, I think that's the goth. So you're going to find that the students fall into different categories. I don't know if it actually says it in here anywhere. Okay, so this one is a goth, right? We've got the class clown. And so they're going to act a little bit different. That one's neutral, another neutral. I think that's the teacher. Academic purist, another neutral. Does it have a huge impact in the game? I don't think so. But I have noticed that there's always a guy named Wolfric Halfmoon in this first playthrough. So it's always, the character model's different, but it's always fun to play through. Okay. We're going to go ahead and let this one run. Again, I can't build anything else. At this point, I'd build bathrooms and dormitories and stuff like that. But we have to wait for the game to kind of prompt us for that stuff. So, okay, so you'll see the teacher is heading into this room. Okay, look at that. The students are in their very first class. Who knows what will happen? So it's got little animations. So the students have kind of crammed into this little area. Is that Wolfric? Our buddy Wolfric? There's Wolfric. So you'll notice that here we see a level meter on our students, right? So they'll be looking for things to do. So now they are hitting the thing with the hammer. We got like a laser thing going on over here. This one's taking notes. Okay, as students learn, they gain experience points or XP, which will increase their academic level. So we got a level up there, and there will be a... okay, so this little symbol, this means there is a line for that. Now, that being said, so you notice this guy standing in line, he's still learning. So I don't think it has a huge issue. Okay, let's talk about this monthly profit statement that just came up here. I'll catch up on chat. Let's see. Your students only makes... Yeah, and they continue leveling up from year to year. So, you know, this is our first class, but next year we'll have these students and a new crop of students as well. The game has a good look and feel, great colors. In your opinion, why do you think they went with low graphics? So I've heard it called the Wallace and Gromit look, kind of this claymation-y art style. I think they go with this because the game is inherently meant to be silly. So, you know, everything is named silly. Some of the classes are silly. Like eventually we're going to get to doing some VR classes. That'll probably be next week. I don't think, we might pick them up at the end of this one. I can't remember, but I think they call it virtual normality versus virtual reality. There's magic classes, there's jousting classes, you know, it's kind of meant to be silly. And so I think that look, that cartoony Wallace and Gromit claymation look, is just kind of what they've gone for. So, okay. So I'm trying to wait to see if any of these guys are going to level up again. See if we can find anybody who's close.
But drinking too much milk can and will make you uncontrollably ill.
Yeah, absolutely. The art style is definitely linked towards the comedic look and feel of the game. Yeah, I'm not sure if any of these guys are going to level up to their second level in this class. But a little symbol will pop above their head as they level. Okay, one thing I did want to talk about, though, is... Oh, no, it's already gone away. We'll do it next month. Every month you get a kind of a financial report, and there's different ways that money can come in. We've got the tuition, and different programs have different tuition rates. We have the XP bonuses, though. And so the better your students do, the more money you make. And then eventually here it's going to have us build a dorm. Okay, so I think that's kind of the completion of the class. And the dorm can also make you money, so... they did it. The students passed their first class. Sadly, they didn't do all that well. It seems a number of them were distracted by one need or another. So this is part of the tutorial that's going to walk you through all of the stuff that you kind of need to support your student body. So a student that has everything they need will be more happy, less distracted, and be able to focus on their studies in an enthusiastic and cheerful haze. Okay, let's unpause so that it triggers the next thing. Student needs, such as their thirst or toilet comfort, will affect their overall happiness. Happy students perform better in classes and earn more XP. Take a look at our students and see what we can do to improve the campus. Okay, so you'll notice first thing that pops up here is a little alert thing. We'll click on this guy. So what is he looking for? Well, he's tired, so he wants to rest somewhere. What else do we got? They're all kind of around here. He's feeling tired. I think that's probably where they're going to push us next. So, key to campus hospitality is to remember the 3 R's. Students need somewhere to relax themselves, to rest themselves, and to relieve themselves. Sure, 2 of those might be the same thing, but it does sound convincing. Let's build a dormitory and a bathroom to keep people comfortable. Okay, now, so we've kicked into a kind of a new phase here. Now we've got new rooms available. So I'm going to come over here, and this is what one of my bigger dorms looks like. In this game, every bed, I used this one last in the wizard one, if you can't tell. Every bed accommodates 5 students, kind of a weird thing, but we'll talk about that. So this one can actually accommodate 60 students. Also, I have built out a standard bathroom, so I can just drag these in and place them down. Now this one, the only thing it looks like is missing might be the bin. Also, you notice I used the royal toilets in that one as well. So there we go. So let's build ourselves a dorm. Now we could do this a couple of different ways. Like I said, I could drag these in. So it's going to sell a lot of the posters and stuff I have on the walls. But we'll go ahead and build these from scratch just to kind of keep it going. So this has to be at least 2 by 2. Now 2 by 2 is pretty small, right? That's a 2 by 2 room because you need that. You need a bed, and there you go. That works as a dorm, and that will be good for 5 people. The problem with building a small room like this is getting your prestige level up and different things like that. You miss out on some bonuses. So we're going to go ahead and just kill that one. And let's experiment a little bit. Let's go ahead and throw a dorm in. I think by 4 will work. Let's see. What do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's make it 8. So 8 by 4. We're going to throw a door right here in the center. We'll throw this guy here. Now, what you have to have in the dorm is listed up here. So we need a bed. One of the cool things is you can get different styles of bed. So you can change the bed coverings here, right? Also notice that there are 3 different types of beds. So let's explore this a little bit. I'm just going to put one in to start. We'll put this one in. Okay. So this qualifies. This is a qualified dorm, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. The invalid objects are the things that I had below it, so that's fine. We'll just sell those off. Now, I want to look at a couple of things. So look at this prestige level. So if we come in here and we add a second bed, right? So our prestige level right now is at 50%. That goes up to 71%. So a 21% gain for adding that second bed. But if I come back in here and I add a different object, so this one's going to be a brown framed bed, you notice that my 50% it now goes up to 80%, right? Same thing. If I add a second one of these, it got me over into the 1% mark. We'll sell that one. We'll add a third style of bed, and notice that it gets me up to 10%. So it's because of that diminishing returns. So we want to kind of keep that in mind. The other thing that I'm just experimenting with is classes can be up to 8. And so factors of 8 seem to matter. So I'm going to try to build this dorm in the closest factor of 8 that I can do by 5s. And so that's going to be 40. So 40 beds or 40 slots at 5 students a bed means I need 8 beds. So that's going to be not easily dividable by these, but we got 5, 10, we can put 20, we can put up here 30, put down here 40. So let's go ahead and pull these back out. Okay, so we got 2 brightly colored rainbow beds. What else can we do? Let's put a couple wizard beds in. There we go. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20. We'll go to the white one. What do we have for options there? We'll do that one, I guess. Let's go ahead and put those two over here. Line it up with that. Nope. And then at this point, it doesn't really matter. To maximize, though, we should probably put in one of those, and we'll put in one of these. I haven't found any Star Wars sheets yet. So far, it's the first three are different. You'll notice there's like a wavy line version, kind of this striped pattern and that striped pattern. Then those two are the same for all the beds. That's a little different, kind of a dark version, pinkish version. Now, those differences have zero impact on gameplay. That's just however you want stuff to look. Okay, something else that I haven't found in any of the documentation or even in the controls. Like I dug through the... Let's get back out here. When I went into the settings and controls, I can't find in here what I'm about to show you. But there is in placement mode.
The news and today's
let's get an item. We'll grab this desk. Things by default snap to a grid, right? And it makes things kind of easy to line up. So if I put this here, you'll notice that this one I can put relatively close, but I can put it there. So I have these two desks. Now what's interesting is if I want to move this desk, I'm going to pick this desk back up. If I hold down the control key, it takes that grid off, and I can wedge stuff in tighter, right? So now I can put in that second desk a whole lot tighter. Now where you see that is that's right here. You can go into free placement, and that'll let you put stuff really tight. Or if you go into snap mode, it puts things more on a grid. You can see, look how far it moves when I do that. Whereas if I do this, every movement is a little bit less. So if you are looking to kind of wedge things in tighter, you can do some stuff like that. And it does help. So that's kind of a little tip that I didn't find till quite a bit later. Okay, everything else that we're going to put in here is not required. But we are going to go ahead and clean up our room here a little bit. I think we probably made the room too big. So let's make a few little changes here. I'll put one of these down here. We need some desks. Now another thing just visually that it does is every time you click on the desk, you'll notice that it's got different types of desks. So for right now, we'll stack that desk there. So that one's slightly different. Let's get another desk. That one's the same. That one's the same. That one's got some different decorations on it. Again, they don't make any difference. That's the same. There's one with like a plasma ball on it. Maybe it's not unlocked yet. Yeah, I'm not seeing any differences. Okay, so we got some desks. I do think we made this room a little bit big. So let's go ahead and fix that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we're going to come in here, and I'm just going to, oops. Nope, I don't want you. We're going to kill the end of the room here. Yep, sell all those desks off. And now let's go ahead and kind of make a few little changes. So let's bring you here, you here. We'll move our door to the center. Now, something I do sometimes is it's kind of hard to maybe to find the center of places. If you go into some of these things, it'll give you a grid. So it makes it kind of easier to see. So if you grab one that doesn't have anything that really color codes it, so that's not a bad one there. It gives you a nice gray grid that you can mess around with. So I know that, I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I've got my door right in the center there, right? Okay. Let's go ahead and go out of that mode. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay. So now let's go ahead and make our room a little better here. So we got brown bed. Let's copy this. I'm going to hold the control key down just to make a copy. I'm going to hit the Z key to move that around. We'll put that on that end. You know what? This is a different design than I've done before, but it actually might work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, I don't think I can get enough wedged in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let's see if a little bit of free placement will work here. Don't know that I can get these any tighter, but let's find out. Now, sometimes you'll run into, I think I can probably break this. Let's get that wedged into the corner. If you get things placed wrong, what you will see sometimes is your students can't get to something. So let's see if it doesn't seem to be causing a problem yet. But let's go ahead and put in, I'll see if I can break it. Let's do it this way. We'll put a desk there, kind of build a, okay, so you can kind of see it here where it's complaining now that, you know, students won't be able to get to this. You know, it's invalid because it's blocking. See how the beds are lighting up? So you can sometimes get yourself into a situation where if you put stuff in the wrong way, you won't be able to do that. But I don't think this worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I can wedge another bed in there. Nope. Okay, we'll go back to our original design then. So let's go ahead and we'll pull you down here. Spread those back out a little bit. We'll pull these down here. Okay, so we got 2 black frames, 2 white frames, 2 brown frames. So let's go ahead and I'm into symmetry. So I'm going to move this one over here. And then we're going to make a copy of this guy. Move him over there. Okay, so we got 1, 2 brown frames, 3 of those, 3 of those. Although I think I have my symmetry messed up. There we go. Beautiful. Now, I will admit I can fall into the trap of playing this mode too much. I can really get into the decoration-y side of things. So let's kind of get some stuff shoved in here. So we'll throw a couple of desks in here. Now we're going to go into attractiveness mode, and we're going to put in some nice windows there. These 2 people want I love 2 point. Oh, I'm going to pull that window out. Actually, let's put in a small window there. Now, small windows and big windows, if they're separate items, will give you more prestige, right? So having 2 small windows and 2 large windows will give you more prestige than having 4 large windows. Okay, this person really wants to have an I love 2 point campus sticker there, so we'll throw those on there. Now, we're pretty limited on what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and throw it's kind of like a bulletin board, I think. We'll throw that there. What's that put us at? 89%, not too bad. Hand sanitizer. Definitely place hand sanitizers. We're going to do this right now. Even though we're working on that room, hand sanitizers are great in that they actually increase your hygiene level of your students, almost like they took a shower. Now, this is where I got to be careful in my commentary of hygiene levels on college campuses. But throwing these into the rooms definitely can help, because if they stop and use, even if they're in class, right, and their hygiene level goes up, let's throw this one over there, then again, it increases their happiness. It makes them learn more. So we're going to put hand sanitizer everywhere. Okay. So what do we got? Our attractiveness level is sitting at 89%. So I think we're going to go ahead and throw in a plant. 99. We'll take a 99. With the limited number of items we have right now, that's probably about as good as we're going to do. All right, let's turn that mode off. Let's come out to here. So we built a dormitory. Now the second thing we need to do is build a bathroom. For this one, again, I can get way deep down into the building side of things. We're going to go ahead and grab one of these that I've already built. Now, a cool design that I like to do is I like to stack these right close to my dormitory, right? So it's going to ask us to build a shower room here in a minute as well. And so if I put this here, and then the shower room over here, I kind of create a hallway of high traffic area. So I'm going to lose a couple of things here. Right now we don't have bins yet, so that'll get sold, that hand sanitizer. But again, we don't lose any money. Now, one thing I will mention on the bathroom. Okay, so there's the build the shower. So it unlocked the shower room. Did you hear that? I think our students might be hungry. Traditionally, campuses offer a range of food and drink to, sustain life. Let's add some vending machines. Okay, so same thing here. It wants us to... Oh, it didn't talk about a shower, but it did unlock the shower room. Same thing. I've got a standard 4x4 shower room that I have kind of pre-built. Now, in my other builds, this area is bigger because my dorm room is bigger, right? So if I go back and look at my other dorm room, here, this is my 60-person dorm room. So see how much bigger it is? So it actually creates a bigger area there by, let's see, it'd be 2 more squares. So this would be 2 squares bigger in the center. But for right now, this will actually work. All right, what's it want? Plays a cheesy gubbins machine and a burp machine. So same kind of thing. I've kind of created my student living area here. So let's go ahead and go into our items. Here is the cheesy gubbins machine. We'll throw that on there. And we will replace some of our other stuff. Here's our burp machine. And again, I'm going to put that there. There we go. Okay, so they have stuff they can eat. If we're up to students, I'm sure we'd all be living on our own filth. Luckily, they have a very little say in the matter. Oh, this is probably... Oh, this is where we get our bin. Let's hire a janitor and place a bin to keep things nice and tidy. Okay, so there's our bins. So here's one where I'm going to... Because, again, I can sell this entire room, and I don't lose money. Oops, we don't want that. Let's grab our... Here we go. And now my bin will already be in there. Now the other thing I can do is I can just add a bin as well. So either way would work. So those are those. We've placed a bin. I am going to go ahead and throw one in there. Let's put one in our... I can't quite squeeze one in there, so there we go. Got a bin there. A look that I like is I like to put windows behind the lecture guy so you can see into the classroom. So that helps that room a little bit as well. And we'll throw a bin into this room as well. I like to put it somewhere near the door if I can. So we'll throw one there. Okay. Hire a janitor. So back to the hiring mode. Let's see what we got. So janitors can have different skills. Maintenance, they can have upgrades. They can also have security. I also like to go through my employees and try to find ones that have no negatives here. So like here, poor personal hygiene. It doesn't have a huge impact, but it can make them less effective. You can remove them out of the hiring, This stat right here for a janitor is great. This increases their movement speed by 20%. So we're going to hire Arthur, I believe. Dry mouth gets thirsty. Don't want that one. Squeaky clean doesn't have a huge impact, but that rapid is good. So we're going to hire them. Drop them down. Same thing. As you get farther into the game, if I want to dress them up a different way, I can. So a strategy I'll use sometimes is later in the game, I'll throw the yellow coat on my employees or my janitors who have the security thing. So I know where my security guards are, or change their colors accordingly. Let's see how the students do in their next class. Okay, so I think we've met all of the stuff that it wants us to do. Now let's check something here though. We can pull up our student list. So here are our students. So these are the ones that have attended class so far, and they got a C. That's partially scripted, I think. I don't think there's a whole lot you could do about that. I can track their energy. I can track their happiness. And so if I do want to maximize, like what's wrong with Alf here, right? I can come in here and I can say, what is Alf looking for? More room prestige. Okay, that's something that I could work on. He's tired. He's hungry. He has to go to the bathroom. He has to get something to drink. So right now, because our campus wasn't really equipped to do much of anything, that's going to be a problem. Now, you also have that stuff for your staff. You can track all those stats for your staff as well. You can keep track of your timetable. There's a whole lot of data on the back end. So if you're a data person, this part can get a little bit fun. I can go in here and I can actually check if I have more than one class. I can check my staff. I can figure out, what percentage of each one of them are having issues. And so you can really drill down and micromanage, what's going on here. These are really, really good to try to figure out, so like this one. What do my students need? Well, right now, they're not the most happy. They're tired. 5 of them anyway are really tired. They're hungry. They're thirsty. Some have to go to the bathroom. Yeah, they're relatively clean. That's good. Somewhat entertained. I'm actually surprised that's as high. Healthiness, they're doing okay there. They seem okay with my environment, right? Because I stacked the environment early on, so we're good there. Temperature will be fine. Prestige, not much we can do about that as well. Anything else in here? So right now, they hate their accommodations because they don't exist yet. We've been paused this whole time. Talk about that later. We probably won't deal with clubs and relationships. Sorry for the pause. Had to sneeze. So they can become friends, good friends, best friends. They can actually date each other. And there's things that you can do to clean that up as well. Right now, that doesn't really exist. They can also join clubs, which I don't think we can do in this first round. Let's check something. Okay, so something it has given us is these social tables. You'll notice that different items have different ranges. So this will develop friendships for level 1 to level 2. This will do level 1 to level 2, and then we'll get more stuff later. So we're going to go ahead and, just kind of right outside here, we'll build ourselves just kind of a nice little break area. We'll throw that there so they can grab some food. They can sit and chat with each other. Let's throw some benches out here. Oh, can't use that bench outside. I think we got enough stuff outside. So it kind of takes care of that. Anything else that we want to look at before we get stuff going? Plants, yeah, everything else is probably pretty good. We did kind of destroy our attractiveness in this area. So we'll go ahead and we'll put the big U back in here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to unpause and get rolling. Oh, where was Alf? Let's find Alf. Felix, Dave. There's Alf. Okay, so Alf is the one we checked earlier. and his needs are all over the place, right? So let's kind of watch what Alf does. So you can see they're kind of all heading over here. My calendar here, notice there's no classes until November. Oh, we lost Alf. Where are you, Alf? There's Alf. Okay, so Alf is getting something to drink. Looks like he grabbed some food on the way by. So his mood, and again, he's 109 right now for learning. So it looks like his drink's okay. So he's going to grab some shut-eye there. Still has to go to the bathroom. But his energy's kicking back in. This is also why you only need kind of one bed per 5 people. It's not they all sleep at night. You'll notice that my timeline is just flying down here, right? So time is kind of this weird relative thing in here. So this is just an object that fills up their energy. Okay, let's take a look at this. So I got a monthly profit plus an XP bonus. It's not giving me the emails yet. But that XP bonus makes a huge difference. Okay, back to Alf. So Alf is, let's get back into this. His mood is definitely going up. He's not tired. He's somewhat healthy. He definitely has to go to the bathroom. Let's see if we can spy on him. It puts the little squiggly lines around, so you can see that as well. Okay, so we've met most of his needs, and so now his happiness is climbing. Also notice his learning rate is now from 100 and I think we were 109 before, to 122%. So he is pretty much, is that Alf there? Yep, there we go. So we've kind of dealt with Alf. There's still an entertainment issue, but not much we can do there. Notice he used the bin. If you don't put bins on, they'll just throw stuff on the ground. We might see a relationship develop here. Let's see. They're sitting next to each other. I don't remember which tab that shows up on. Maybe not. They're talking. I'm not sure if they're developing an actual relationship yet or not.
Or the art of doing something again is derived from the Greek.
I can't remember which tab that shows up on, so doesn't look like it. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it anywhere else. Oh, there it is. Relationships. So they haven't developed a relationship yet. Where did Alf go? There we go. So no relationships yet. Okay, so you'll notice our timeline is kind of creeping up on the next class.
No, I will not be your friend.
He walks funny. So notice he has the weak bladder stat. So he already has to go to the bathroom again. But there, his hygiene just kicked up to 100% because he used the hand sanitizer. So that's a good thing. Yeah, so he's got the weak bladder. Wise words. Helps others with their studies. I like having him around. Okay, there you go. So you see him leveling up. You saw the little things kind of kicking up there. So our next class is going on here. So it has some generic animations here. Now we can upgrade these eventually, and that also increases the effectiveness of the teaching. But also notice they're not all in class, right? They're not all scheduled to be in that class. What do we have for total students right now? We have 10. Class will only hold 8. But also, I don't even think we have 8 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5. So they're probably divided up in half. So they kind of go about their business now. So at this point, we're just kind of waiting for things to happen, right? So I could come in here. Oh, sorry, let's pop that back up. I'm just hitting the number 2 key. And this is my most unhappy student right now. So let's find out why. Okay, that'll take care of itself. This is a little bit of a concern. This is a little bit of a concern. This isn't a very prestigious room. That's going to stay at 50% unless you make a change there. So not much we can do to help. Maybe a little bit of prestige. But I don't think, I haven't really unlocked anything to make that change yet. So we're just going to stick with what we have, which is probably level 3 room. once you start to unlock some of the posters and stuff, getting to level 10 for prestige is actually pretty easy. Okay, so class is going on. Looks like class is finishing. And out they go. Is that Alf? How's Alf doing? Okay, so Alf is doing better. Went up to 60%. All right, I'm going to pause. Well done. Those students look smarter already. The better they do, the more money you'll have to fund the campus. Who's smart now? So notice that the XP bonuses are starting to kick in here. Yes, you'll receive tuition fees from all students enrolled in courses at the campus, as well as a bonus for how much XP they're earning. All right. Satisfying student needs is just one way to improve our grades. Next on the agenda is a spot of studying. Luckily, the students have just been given their first assignments. Complex assignments is a great way for students to earn XP away from the classroom, though it looks like they need some new facilities. Check your inbox to see what they need. Okay, so this is introducing a couple of mechanics. The first one is kind of your mailbox. So it'll pop these things here that'll give you, your latest whatever. So welcome to your inbox, a place to check on student requests, disaster warnings, upcoming visits. Some campus issues are time sensitive, so keep an eye out for new messages. And then we've got here library required. Library orientation, look at these books. And there are 9 people that want this. So now we've got a new mechanic that's kind of kicking in here. Let's see if Alpha is one of them. So this will show me what they're kind of looking to do. And so now we need to build ourselves a library. I'm pretty sure my library I have, nope, I don't have one in there. It would have so much stuff that wouldn't work. It would be scary anyway. So, okay, so library is an interesting one. It has a few different things. It has to be 3x3. Let's go ahead and we'll make it as big as we can in this particular area. One thing that is something to consider is as we're building a room, the size of the room impacts its prestige level. So you notice the prestige is at 0, right? So as I start to add layers to this, you'll see the prestige jumps up, and it will keep doing this. Again, there's a diminishing returns right there. So see the difference, like how much prestige I gain from going from a 6x6 to a 6x7. But now if I make it much bigger than that, you really don't see much of a change. Right? So we've kind of capped out. The other thing to notice is up in the upper left there, how big the room also dictates how many people it can accommodate for some rooms. So in this case, my bigger room can hold more students at once. Now we only have 10 students right now. So we're going to go ahead and just build it over here. All right, so library. Something else that they've changed from hospital is I can actually add multiple doors. So you can actually play around with your flow a little bit as well, if that is an issue. Okay, so we need a library desk. It's kind of our librarian. We need a bookcase. They use these to get their assignment, so we're going to put one there. And I'm going to put these really close to the entrance because they'll want to hit those as soon as they come in. And then we're going to need a computer cubicle. So we'll throw this down here at the end, and we'll center it in the block. Now that creates a complete library. Now something I'm going to go, we could go a couple of ways here. I don't think it impacts... Does it impact the attractiveness? I don't think so. Okay, I'm going to pull these back out, even though they add to the room prestige. Because what will happen is as students need equipment, they will request it, right? And so what's interesting there is you don't necessarily have to include everything that's needed or everything that's available in the room right away. I'm going to go ahead and save that. You can save stuff for later if you want, if that makes sense. All right, let's go ahead and throw a sanitizer. Okay, so this is an ugly room though. So you'll notice that my room attractiveness is low. So that's the thing we want to fix. Now I normally do this in pause mode, because I don't want my students coming in here and having a negative effect on their stuff. So, okay, let's go ahead and take that window out. What do we have? We got 2 big windows on that side. Okay, so let's add 2 small windows on that side. And again, right now, there's not a lot. That actually should have... I would have thought that would have increased the attractiveness, but maybe not. Okay, well, looks like we're going to have to use plants for this one. Does this do anything? Okay, we got our prestige up to 5, so we'll leave that in there. And let's go ahead and throw in one of these. And let's see where we're at for... Yeah, we're almost to 6, so... Okay, so we're going to have to plant this one up. Let's try right there, right there, right there. All right, let's move. We'll move that over there. And what's that put us at? 99, not too bad. Prestige at 6, but we're almost to 7. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Is there anything else we can throw in here? Oh, we could do another plant, but plants require maintenance. All right, let's see if another window does it. Okay, so something I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the library so I can see this. Yeah, so see how little it moved it? It's just because we're on our 3rd window. Now, these bulletin boards, though, we only have one of those, I think. Yeah, we stuck one of those over there. So this should move the needle quite a bit. Yeah, that moved the needle up to 7. Although I don't know that we can get away with getting rid of that window. Yep, so it did add some. But let's go ahead and we've got the money. Let's add another one of these. All right, we'll put that over there. There we go. So that gets us into the 7s. Now the other thing that we still need to do, hire an assistant. So that's our 3rd category. So we've got teachers, we've got janitors, and we've got assistants. So this person's a litterer. We don't want that person. That person's also a litterer. But really what we want is this one. Notice they have the library stat. They get hungry easy, but we're going to take them. And we'll put them in there. Now, as we get farther into the game, something else that you can do is... Here we go. You can tell people where to work. So, for instance, if I only wanted this person to work in the library, I can turn the other jobs off, and they won't wander off and do other things. All right, let's fix our prettiness there a little bit. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's get stuff rolling again. Complete an assignment in the library. Okay. So here they all come. How about will our room hold? Our whole room will hold 16, so we're good there. Some of our students are completing an assignment. I missed that one. Sorry. Probably they needed something. We had to make sure that they got it, but. Okay, so you notice they all come into here now. They're not in class, but they're using our library. You saw a little bit of a queue there. So this is them queuing up at the reception desk for our library. Then they'll start to hit the stuff that they need to use. Sometimes they'll just stand around. But also notice their levels are going up. Let's see how the students do in their next class. So basically what it's walking you through is notice that their grades are getting better, right? So now they're getting up into the higher percentages because the more activities, learning activities they do, the higher this gets. Now you notice there's differences. This person's at a 70%. This person's at an 82. Their learning rate is lower, but they've completed an assignment. What's this person done? Yeah, so these two people haven't been to class yet. So something you can do is you can start to look at your students by their grades, right? So let's look at Randy here. Randy's attended 2 classes and completed an assignment. So he's just done more learning activities. So his grades have gotten better. If we look at that on the other end, I don't know what's up with Kenningston here. Kenningston hasn't done anything. But they're working on an assignment right now. So let's see how they do. What's their learning rate? 127.
Students are reminded to set reminders.
So hopefully, as Kenningston Codswallop finishes his assignment here. So now he's kicked on to he's on the board, right? He's actually done something. And now he's going to go take a shower. This will eventually update. Yep, there we go. So he's no longer our worst student. So you can kind of track the students, by these different pieces of information and try to figure out, okay, why is this person doing, why is Felix not doing well? Well, the first thing I check is, well, they just haven't gone to any classes yet. There's not much you can do to force them into classes outside of just make classes available. But you can start to, make sure that maybe these students are having happiness issues, right? Or their needs aren't being met. If they have to go to the bathroom, maybe they're missing class. So now it depends on how much you want to micromanage that kind of stuff. But let's just let this run. So now we're kind of at the point where there's really not much we can do. Let's see. Are these people developing relationships? Okay, so here, Felix. Is that Felix? That's Alf. Oh, where'd the clown guy go? All right, so Felix and Piper have hit a friendship level now, right? So again, this impacts the happiness, So this person is an 85. How's the other guy? Yep, they're doing 85. I don't know if there's a relationship stat over here. Okay, so they're starting to climb up here because they do have a relationship now. All right, so you can see him learning. Now notice that he was running a little bit late, right? So he's not getting as much learning in here as the ones that were already learning. So there's little variables in there that will actually kick in. But we basically have our university running here. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up time. Because there's not much that we can do. We can check to see if we can add anything else, but I don't think I can. So really, we just need to get through this. So we're in the classroom now. Classes are going on, or a class is going on. Don't think there's any other really interface items. Let's talk about this a little bit. This is kind of something you do between years. So we're going to get the ability to upgrade our classes or add new classes. This is our schedule. We've already looked at that. We've got the staff and the students. I've been using the hotkeys for those. I've got my overview. Oh, if you do run out of money, you can take a loan. And then it costs you per month. So that is an option as well. What do we got here? So now we can start to get these statements in our mail. So we can start to track, okay, we're getting this in tuition, we're getting this in rent. The higher your dorm is in prestige and stuff like that, the more rent you get. XP bonuses, so they're learning well. So we're actually doing quite well. All right, let's get this thing rolling. And again, this is the intro. So again, we haven't even burnt through. As wasteful as I've been in building stuff here, money's not an issue. There are some levels where you start with 0 and have to take a loan right away, and they get harder. All right, so it looks like we have met our next challenge. They did better. Again, they're happier. All the stuff is kicking in. Your students have gone from a C grade chumps to B- grade brain heads. Let's recap how you did, shall we? All right, Campus Management 101. Provide better staff and facilities to improve your students' grades. Make students happy and comfortable to increase their learning rate. Earn more cash by growing your campus and enrolling more students. I understand. Now, if I wanted to be cutthroat, hold on. Congratulations, you've earned some kudos for completing objectives. Spend kudos to unlock new items as well as staff outfits and interior design options. Okay. There we go. So now it's opened up. So notice now all of the stuff that exists. The way the system works is you unlock these with your kudos money. So right now we have 230. So for instance, if I wanted like this poster, I unlock it for 15, but then it costs me 150 to place it, right? So here is where, we could really start to dig in. So what I normally do is I'll start to acquire these posters. And not every room can take every poster, but if they can, every poster you put in increases the prestige. And if you look, there's a ton of them. There's also, I don't know if there's these rugs. You can put rugs down. And this is where you can start to really stack and maximize. Now, something they have changed is, again, there's a diminishing returns for this kind of stuff. In the 2-point hospital, you could actually, once you got this like golden award plaque, basically you just put that in. It was small and it gave you the most prestige. You just put those in the room until you hit level 5 and it was capped. But now they've taken that ability away. Okay, so it wants us to unlock an item. I know from a previous playthrough that this poster, actually, most of them give about the same amount of prestige, but this one gives a little bit more and it falls off a little bit less. So we're going to click on that. We're going to unlock it for 15. And now I have this poster, right? So if I want to, I'm going to go back into this mode. I can now add this in. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take that off there. So if I want to, just scroll back up to the top. Now you'll notice when I put this poster in, what's our prestige at? Is it 7? It's going to do two things for me. My prestige went up, and you'll notice that it also gave attractiveness. So if you ring your rooms with these posters, it can make a difference. Now, each of those is still going up, but it is doing less and less. Like, so you'll see it barely move the needle on that 4th placement. So as a strategy, if you want, you can now start to unlock a lot of these wall hanging things. The other thing that's interesting on some of these, let's grab, we'll just grab the same poster we were using. I can actually place it behind here, right? So there's a couple posters that won't work, but you can hide some of this stuff as well if you don't like the way it looks. Okay, so we have some choices here. At this point, I could spend all of my cash, unlock a whole bunch of posters, prestige the place up, but I'm probably not going to do that. The other cool thing about this, though, is now that I have unlocked that poster, it is available in this save for the rest of my playthrough. So if I go to another campus, all my unlocks go with me. So it's kind of nice in that regard. Now, I'm going to save this money for this reason. I think it's probably going to kick into a mode where students are going to start requesting things. And if I don't own them, I have to be able to buy them. So we're going to go ahead and go into that mode. So, okay, new room unlocked. So we've unlocked a couple of rooms. So here's our first one of these. So we'll talk about this in a second. Use everything you've learned to help your students pass the year. Okay, so now it's kind of gone into, that's kind of the end of the tutorial, I would say. So let's talk about this. So this is where students are going to start requesting things that they want. So they want a student lounge. So let's get them a student lounge. We'll kind of keep this end as the studenty area. I'm not going to make this too terribly big. How big does it have to be? 3 by 3. We don't have a lot to put in there yet. So let's make it, we'll make it 3 by 4. Okay, that's it for the student lounge. You don't have to put anything in it, but we have this basically empty room. So let's go ahead and look at what we could put in there. So right now, we can put in a sink. Let's turn the attractiveness on. I don't think the sink will make any difference. Nope. I can put in a microwave. I can put in just some countertops. Let's go ahead and put a bin in. So we'll stick that there. Get some hand sanitizer in here. We want clean students. I could put more machines in here. That would kind of be appropriate. I can put a dartboard for some entertainment. We'll throw that on the wall there. We'll give them a place to sit. We'll throw that in there. We'll throw a couple chairs here in front of the dartboard. Again, I'm going to put one of each. As ugly as that looks, that's actually better for prestige. Refrigerator. Refrigerator's pretty good. We're going to give them a couple of refrigerators. There we go. Now, if you want to really start to min-max things, you have to decide where you want your students spending time. Also, if you look at what these things provide. So the sink provides hygiene. You notice this provides food and drink as a positive, but a negative is it increases their toilet need. This one only increases food, right? So I could put the microwave in here, but if I just use the refrigerators, I can satisfy both requirements. So that might be better. That's an entertainment. These don't really do anything. So here is one, right? So this one will help them develop friendships. The question is do I want my students hanging out in this room? Or do I want them coming in and out, more often? It's kind of up to you. But if you're really, really getting into the min-max type of thing, this room does have a capacity. Right now, 8 people can be in it. I don't know. Let's check here. If we make it bigger. Yeah, so we can get more people in it if we wanted to. But if you're going to get into the min-maxing game, if I can only have 8 people in here, I want them to come in, enjoy the room, do what they're meant to do, and then get out. So putting a table, such as, let's go back into this version, where they're going to sit and talk a lot, might not be the best for this room, right? So you start to make those kind of decisions as well. Okay, let's prestige it up a little bit. So we'll add a 2-point thing there. We'll add that guy there. We can put a lamp in. We'll put that in the corner. That's not too bad. We'll throw another 2-point thing on the wall there. Throw a second one of these. Now, when I talk about the diminishing returns, that is for prestige. If I want to use these posters for attractiveness, right? So if we look here, I'm at 91. If I stick this one on here, takes me up to 95. Or if I pull that one out and stick this one on, that one's stronger, takes me up to 96. I can put these in. Now you're going to notice it's not going to impact prestige much because there's a diminishing returns, but they still work as an attractiveness object, right? So like if I throw one behind the refrigerators there, I'm at 99. I'm thinking this corner is probably weak. I'll throw one of those up. There, we're at 100%. So while it's not really increasing the prestige that much, it is increasing that attractiveness rating. So I can duplicate things for that regard. But once you unlock a whole bunch of stuff, then you can start to just put them side by side by side. You get the attractiveness and the prestige. Okay, we're going to leave that basic right now. It meets the need. But you'll notice there's game tables and all kinds of stuff we could eventually buy. All right, what else are they complaining about? Employ 5 staff members. We can do that. Build a staff room. Okay, we're going to build that over here. So our teachers work over here. So let's do a little bit of rearranging. I'm going to pull up the library. And I'm going to stick the library in over here for right now. And we're going to go ahead and let's slide that over. We'll slide that over. I'm going to move my door. And if I wanted to, really what I probably should do is go ahead and add a layer there. And then we'll just slide our stuff back here. Now there is a little bit of a bug. You'll notice that I wouldn't call it a bug. It's just the way the game works. Sometimes the stuff won't update as far as the prestige and the attractiveness and stuff like that. But all right, let's throw a couple posters here. That'll help that one. That'll help that one. Probably good enough. What are we at? 99%. Okay, so in doing that, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to build a staff lounge. And because I moved the door, now I don't have to worry about the door hitting in there. Let's put that there. This kind of works the same as the student lounge, so you can put some stuff in. Let's go ahead and this is something. Let's do this real quick. I'm going to let's grab a plant to kind of show this point. Actually, let's save this. Okay. I'm going to go into edit mode on the room. When you're in this mode, you'll notice that when I put the plant down, it didn't update. Because when you're in room edit mode, it's not valid yet. It hasn't validated the room. As soon as I accept that, it'll put that in. So oftentimes what I'll do is I'll get the base room built so I'm not in this edit room mode anymore. Now that the base room is built and it meets the minimum requirements, I'm going to go in here, and now when I add stuff to the room, I'll know if it's making a difference. So we've got these cubicles. Let's put those along this wall over here. So that did not make a difference in attractiveness. The lamp will, right? So the lamp helps a little bit. Let's put a there. We want our faculty and staff to be clean. We're going to go ahead and give them some refreshments in their break room. So we'll throw those along this wall. And I think, how ugly of a couch can we make? The blue one looks kind of nice. Is that going to make an ugly couch? Let's try that for an ugly couch. And we'll put this couch in. And we'll throw a couple of chairs over here. And again, I'm trying to put as big a variety of objects into the room that I can so that I can get that prestige level up. So I think I've gotten at least one of most things. Oh, need a staff bulletin board. We'll put that over here. And so now that I've got the functionality of the room, as ugly as it may be, we should give them some entertainment too. All right, you can come over here and play darts behind the couch. That's safe. Now I need to kind of try to attractiveness it up. I've got limited things I can do right now. Again, as you get farther into the game and you start to buy some of this other stuff, it'll make a difference. So right now it looks like we're mostly going to be dealing with plants, I would guess. So let's see. Hold the control for free form to get as close to that chair as I can. We'll put another one right next to the couch. And what that put us at? 96%. I'll take 96. Staff aren't going to spend a lot of time in here. So we're going to go with that. Actually, you know what? We'll throw... Oh, can I change? Change the color. We'll throw another lamp in the corner. 98. We're going to go with that. All right. Let's get out of that mode. What's the next thing I need to do? Employ 5 staff members. So at this point, I don't really need more staff members. And they are going to cost me money. Now, this category is just hints. It doesn't really make it anything you're required to do. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we have available. If we have a good janitor, we might pick them up. We've got a rapid one. That one's not bad. This one has increased maintenance skill, so they're going to be better at that. This one moves around quicker and has happy thoughts. I guess that's good. These aerodynamics are all right, but you'll notice that The rapid stat is good 20%. The other thing we could do is look to hire a second librarian, because they do go on breaks. That one's gross. We don't want a gross librarian. That's a good candidate. Gets hungry, gross. I don't want that one. Squeaky clean and rapid. Now, something else you have to consider is notice that this one cost me $21,500. This one cost me $24,250. The higher their stats, the more they can cost you. So you have to decide, is this 4% happiness worth it? And they happen to be rapid, but that doesn't really increase. I'm going to go ahead and get the cheap one for right now. So we'll plop them in. Let's look at what we have for teachers. Yeah, that one's a litterer. So I'm going to go ahead and start things back up here and see if we can get some new candidates.
Seems to me to be at the heart of all of our cultural and social.
Okay, this one is a... Holy cow, I'm glad this one popped up. So, what do we have here? We have the same level. We're a low-level school right now, so you're not going to see these levels go up until we start to update our... the courses. In the course management section, there's a whole thing. We'll talk about that in a second. But they have this comic timing. This 5% chance to provide comic relief increases the happiness of the student while they're being taught, which increases their learning rate. So this is that professor that makes things fun, right? So that can be a nice little stat to grab. They don't really have any negatives. So I'm going to go ahead and hire that person as well. Now, I don't really need both of them. But for right now, might as well. All right. Extra credit. Our average assessment is good. Complete 2 assignments will happen. Level 3 science lab. So we have unlocked a couple of things to increase the prestige of our science lab. We've got a science shelf. So let's go ahead and clean out some stuff here. So let's put a science shelf there and a science shelf there. That got us up a bit. We've got this poster. Since I took out the plants, we're going to posterize. Oops, I did not mean to grab that. Trying to get that window. All right, let's go to the outside and I think it'll just delete it from out there. All right, so we put a poster up. Oh, no, it grabbed it. We'll put the poster or the window there in the center. We'll put another learning poster over there. So our attractiveness has gotten back up. Plus, these don't require maintenance like the plants do. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and deplantify our science lab here. We'll do the same thing. We'll stick a couple of posters there. Couple of posters there. I can't put one behind there, so let's move that to the center. And this is something, as you start to unlock things, you'll start to tweak on your rooms a little bit, right? You'll take stuff out. So for instance, I'm going to move that over now because that's kind of the spot where they all gather up. So I want to have some openness there. Our attractiveness is up to 100 just with posters and no plants. So it takes less maintenance on my janitorial staff. I'm going to let's move this over to here. That's kind of where the students tend to be. And I think that's pretty good. And we got to level 3. So we met that requirement as well. All right, let's let things roll. Now, when I'm playing, I usually don't play in fast mode, but
another weekend, another roach burger.
All right. Hopefully our assistants find the library. There we go. Okay, so what do we have going on? When you see this little target, it means that this student wanted something and you have met their requirements, right? And so if we watch what happens here, like he's feeling hostile. I'm not sure why, but interesting enough, he's feeling hostile. But let's see what happens. Okay, so now his feelings here, he feels accomplished because he achieved a personal goal. His personal goal was to have a student lounge. And so that 25% happiness bonus is going to help hopefully counteract some of these other things. Now, again, it's all about kind of just figuring out where I can meet their needs. And then if we go back to our student menu, our least happy student is 73. Oh, Kenningston. Kenningston's been a problem all the way through. Also corresponding to their lowest grades, right? So if we look at our low happiness, coincidentally, no, there's a happy student that's not doing well this one. But it's really a kind of a data simulation at this point. So they're doing that. We'll also look over here. I don't think any staff have found the staff room yet. So, here comes the teacher. So what are they at? Oops, didn't get the teacher. There we go. Yep. So I think the teachers or the staff will regain energy in here.
The campus grounds are not a toilet.
Okay, is this person... Not 100% sure. Oh, no. Okay. So they work a little bit different. They're technically on call right now. So let's take this one. I think the other librarian is working. So they will automatically go on breaks. So let's take a look at that mechanic. If we go into here, this is kind of our staff policy. At 20% of any need will trigger them to go on a break. Right? So this employee right now is not at 20% for anything. But I'm going to go ahead and force them onto a break. And then when they're on a break, you'll notice that their needs refill. So they'll do that automatically. It's not one that I really pay much attention to. But if you do have like, oh, they're not doing anything anyway, you might as well help them. So that can help. Now, something you'll notice there. Notice that our tuition no longer covers our staff wages. But our tuition plus our rent plus the XP bonus for having happy students that are earning more did make it so we're making money. So here's another request. Let's talk about that here a little bit. So this is a student request. Relationship item request. Willow Weaver. We can finally see what's been abundantly clear to everyone else that we may as well try dating. But they won't do that unless you provide them with the facilities to do it. So right now they're kind of stuck. They can't continue along that path, which would make them more happy. So what we need to do is we need to unlock the thing that they want, which is the love bench. It'll be, is it in the outside stuff? Where is the... There it is. So there's the love bench, belongs outside. But again, notice that I do not have access to it. It cost me 25. So that's why I didn't rush in and just spend all this stuff on posters and stuff to upgrade my rooms. I wanted to make sure I had it. Now, a nice little mechanic that they put in here is you'll notice that it says unlock in place. If you already own it, it'll just be place, but you don't have to go dig it up. You can just click on that. And it'll ask you if you want to spend the 25. I'm going to say yes. Now I have a love bench. Where should we put our love people? Let's put them over here. Now, something I'm going to do, I could stick it right here, right? But by going outside, the students gain a fresh air buff. I don't remember who said they wanted that. So let's see. Those are both staff. Oh, these two people seem to be having a good relationship. Are they the ones in love? No, they're just friends.
Perilous spandex.
All right.
Anything hazardous about that particular picture is watching it.
Oh, those might be our candidates. Okay. So something I want to look at here is there is this healthiness. And now right now there's not a lot we can do about healthiness, but there is this buff called fresh air that increases healthiness. And so I could have put the bench right there. I think they're going to the bench. Oh, let's click on that guy. We'll talk about that in a second. And they would have walked out here, used the bench, and walked back in. I'm going to slow this back down by forcing them to walk farther. Now, you know, it could be something where, you know, that could make them not do something else. But this whole time, and I forgot to check, we'll check right now. His healthiness is at 55. This healthiness should go up really slowly as this fresh air buff kicks in.
Attention. Your finger is not a toothbrush.
So there, 56. You know, so they've gained some healthiness by being outside, right? Might get to 57, 2%, we'll see. He didn't quite, but he gained at least a point, maybe 2 points. Now, the problem we have right now is the only way they're getting food is through vending machines. And vending machines, don't know if it says in here, yep, lowers their healthiness. Now, later on, you get food kiosks and stuff like that, and that'll increase that as well. Okay, develop 2 best friends, friendships. So the other thing that we're going to want to do then is to work on that. We need to look for things that get us to best friends. So if we look at this table, the table gets you to good friends level 2, but we need stuff to get us to best friends. So we're going to go to the relationships tab here, and we're going to look to see what exists. Okay, so this will get people from good friends to gigachums, levels 2 to 4. This gets people from level 1 to level 2, level 1 to level 2. The love trumpet gets people from sweethearts to soulmates. And then this also gets people from good friends level 2 to level 3. So we've got a couple of candidates here. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock this one. It's a water cooler. So we'll stick a water cooler there. Let's put one kind of over here. There we go. A couple of those. I am a gearhead, so this one's one of my favorites. If you look at it, it's like an old Cadillac, pink Cadillac with a chair in the center. So we'll go ahead and throw one of these. I think you can put these outside as well. Yep, so we'll put one outside so they can sit outside and enjoy themselves. And we'll throw one inside as well. I don't think you can put this outside. Nope. So there we go. So to help kind of meet this, develop 2 best friends, we have to give them the things that will do that. If I don't put those in, these items will never get them to best friends. They'll stall out, right? Okay, back into just play mode here. Let's go ahead and let this rip. Now, I've taken a lot of time to probably explain things. The game plays faster once you're not stopping all the time to, you know, work out the details and explain some stuff. But so we lost 1,100, but our XP bonus will kick us up to 5,700.
This has been exhausting. We shan't be doing it again because
so there is another personal goal was met. I don't know if we'll get this by the end of the year. I'll have to wait and see. We put the relationship stuff in a little bit lower. Okay, so what do we got? The double jump bed. We're so close, we even finish each other's. You were supposed to say request. I knew we should have practice. All right, the way I have built my campus right now, actually this will work out. We could be gross. Let's be gross. We go ahead and move that over there. Move this over here because we have room to do this. Let's see, relationships. What's it under? Entertainment. Maybe we have to go into this menu. All right, so this one's 150. Now, I can choose just to reject this, and that's fine. It'll make this person upset for a while, so it will have a negative impact. But if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. We're in a pretty good place right now, so we're going to unlock this for 150. And this is going to look horrible, but we're just going to stick it right there in the center. Now, I could have went ahead and just extended my dorm. You know what? I'm going to do that. This looks like they're on display, and that just looks horrible. So let's do this. We'll go ahead and extend the dorm because it doesn't hurt us. So that'll make that. And we'll kind of put this one. We'll put it kind of over there. Can we still put this on the end with that bed there? I think we can. There we go. Now that does count. Nope, it did not like that. I'll put it over there. So now I've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I've got 45. I think this one counts. We've gotten this up to an 8. So while we're here, let's check a couple of things. We're going to check our prettiness, attractiveness, and we have unlocked, we've got this new poster. We might be able to get ourselves up to a 9 here. So we'll use the poster to kind of fill in areas that look weaker for attractiveness. So we're at 100 there. And did we unlock anything else? Don't really see anything else. We've got 2 desks in here now. A third desk won't be the most. It got us up a little bit. Let's see, what else do we have? We got 2 of each window. We got 2 of each of those. A couple of those. I suppose. I don't think I can squeeze 2 love beds in there. Do we put the dorm notice board up? That might be new. Yeah, I think that's a new object. So let's go ahead and we'll throw that there. It didn't move very far, so we might have already had one. Oh, we're really close. You can always throw another bin in if you want. A second hand sanitizer could help. Let's put it over here by the love bed. There we go. So that got us up to 9. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know if this rent per year went up because of those changes or not. Let's see. It didn't from level 8 to level 9. So, all right. So there is our new dorm with the love bed in place. And then let's fix our attractiveness out here. Throw one there. Here we go. For whatever reason, those are bad spots. All right, I think we're in pretty good shape. And so this is kind of how the gameplay goes. At least the way I play the game is, I'll try to find a need, and then I usually pause to go ahead and meet that need. I see a line here. Okay, so let's double check. Are they? Okay, so they are not learning while they're waiting in line. So this is where you kind of go into management mode, right? So a study cubicle. So I have a needs of more study cubicles, it looks like. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and move that over here. We'll copy our study cubicle. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put stuff in, so let's go ahead and give them a second one of these. We'll give them a second one of these and a second one of these. And now let's see what happens that I've added those study cubicles, right? So now I don't have a bottleneck. Now they're all able to do the work at the same time. So now if I look here, let's find one with a graph. Okay. So now their graphs are going up and they're leveling, right? So this is kind of really what you get into in the, call it micromanagement mode. Don't know if there's anywhere to set. In hospital, you can set that queue length. I think this one just defaults to 3. And I'm not sure there's anywhere to change it. I'll have to look that up. But you're just kind of keeping an eye on things. If you see a bottleneck or you see like the students are all lined up here for food, right? It means things aren't happening. But this is good. This should be up in their relationship status. So they have become friends, it looked like there. Okay, weed infestation. Not much we're going to do about that one. So we're in for a soggy stretch, a wet patch at time of rainy and muggy and dank. It may not be for everyone, but I'm sure the weeds will enjoy it. Weeds make the campus grounds less attractive, but can be removed by a janitor. So it adds a challenge if you don't have enough janitorial staff. Again, we can turn on our, wrong hotkey. So there comes the rain. And if we look, is that a weed? Yeah, so there's a weed. So if I didn't have... it's kind of hard to... That should be lowering the attractiveness. I just got so much stuff stacked up out here that I'm just overriding the negative buff, which is fine. Now, later on, I can't do this as much because it's more expensive to run stuff. All right, so there's our weeds. Now, here comes our janitor. Right, so he should pull the weed. There we go. And so as long as you've got your... Okay, so you can see it over here. You can see it having an impact. Right? So here comes our janitor. Once he pulls that weed, so see how the attractiveness change. And so I'm countering a lot of it, but it did have an impact as well. Okay, the other thing that happened earlier... Oh, was that one? Might have been one. There's these things called bookworms right there. You can get money or kudos by clicking on them. There's also achievements for clicking on them. And something we're going to check is this little icon up here. Takes you to your career goals. So right now we haven't met any yet. But these are throughout your entire save file. As you meet these things, so for this one, level up 100 Scientography students, this will also give you this kudos money. And once you start hitting these, you get to the point where you have plenty. It's a little rough in the first level, but all right. So we got people in our lounge. Our bathrooms and showers don't appear to be like there's no lines or anything, so that's good. The beds aren't all full. That's good. You can get into some weird hygiene issues in here. It looks okay right now. You can see this one's a little yellow. The janitors will come and clean this eventually. If you want, you can call the janitor to take care of something. So you can override the AI and just say, I need you to come and take care of this thing. People jumping on the love bed. So there's our janitor. So you notice that he cleaned that. Now he's in this area. He'll water the plant and stuff like that. You can also check your maintenance. So these plants need water. Everything else looks pretty decent. Looks like mostly plants. Here comes our janitor to water that. Our attractiveness is clean. Temperature is fine. Prestige could be higher. But we're doing okay. You can also check the, where are food things. And also if you look at the little people, like there's somebody here. So their food level is low. So you can kind of get this macro view of some of these kind of things. And so you can check in using these filters to see if you have a need. So notice this one causes people to go to the bathroom. This person looks like they need to go to the bathroom. And they also must be tired. So they went to sleep instead. Okay. So we'll get through this here. But so you can kind of see as an overview, if you see a whole bunch of people running around red because of the bathroom or in one of these filter modes, it's a good way to kind of check to see how are you doing. So for instance, this is probably our worst one. We don't have a lot of entertainment on this campus right now. So you can kind of see, the people that are doing worse. Okay, let's talk about the end of the year. So, congratulations, you finished the academic year. Let's head to the end of the year rewards to celebrate and see how we did. We might get 2 of these. In this first campus, there's not much you can get. So, 100% pass rate. Average exam results, 89%. That's not too bad. Average grade of an A. That's pretty good. We might get the clean or the... Yep. So by stacking my attractiveness and having a decent room prestige, I got this. Now, a couple of things. Notice each one gives me a money if you're running low on money. But they also give us... That's 30 kudos that we just picked up by making 3 of those. So we got 3. For a level 1 tutorial level, that's actually doing pretty good. So for instance, this one, best teacher, is tough to get until later. We can't even do research, right? We can't train our staff, so we can't get that one. That one you can pay them more to help you with that one. Cutting edge campus. Yeah, research. We can't do research yet. Best clubs. We can't do clubs yet. And both social relationships. That's tough to get early on. So 3 is about as good as you're going to get on the starter level. Okay. I think we'll go ahead and go through this phase. And then we will probably call it for today. So the summer break is a perfect time to prepare the year ahead. Build facilities, make unsustainable design choices, and bask in last year's glory. Let's expand our range of courses by starting a virtual normality course. Okay. Okay, so one thing that's interesting here. Time continues to run. You can keep it running. Some things will happen and some things won't. So no learning will take place in this phase. So, the people will still go around, and the students will still have their stuff. But it's kind of a free phase for them to catch up. So like your janitors can catch up on maintenance, and you can do stuff in this mode. You can hire and fire people, right? Like if I wanted to get rid of this person, oops, I missed him. There we go. I could fire this person. I could hire new staff, and I'm going to have to hire new staff. But all that kind of stuff, the timeline doesn't move forward. So it's during this break, you can kind of use it as a way to get everything ready. So it says run virtual normality class. This is still part of the tutorial. I'm going to click on this. It won't let me do it, but here I can actually raise the level of this. And also notice that the max qualification level, that will go up as you get things higher. So they'll let you hire staff and get staff that have higher ratings and different things like that. Let's talk about this while we're here. This is also where I can tweak on things. So I can raise and lower tuition. So if I lower tuition, let's say, I think a maximum you get is 10% happiness. All right, so my students are going to be happier coming in. Also notice, let's put it back up. The number to get those 15. Then I still only bring in the 10 I was going to get before. I'm getting less money, but their average learning rate's gone way up, which means I'll get more in XP. So you can balance these kind of things out. Now I have students that are happier, 10% happiness. I'm making less money, but I'm only bringing in the cream of the crop. And so I can do some stuff like that. Now this all has impacts on my needs. So we'll look at that over here. So right now all I can bring in is this virtual normality course. So we'll select this course. So notice here, next year's campus requirements. I need a teacher for virtual normality. I need a lecture theater, and I need a VR lab. I don't think there's going to be anything I can do to change that. Well, I mean, I could go, let's go extreme. If I choose not to bring in any students, right? Now those requirements went away. So you can use these kind of things. So let's say, and I'm just going to make this up. If I bring one student in here, I still need a lecture theater, a VR lab, and a normality lab. But let's say that I was at 8 students and I still need those things. So teacher and the 2 labs. And then I came in here and I raised that to 9 students and it went up to 2 teachers and 4 labs. you know, for that extra one student? Would it be worth it? So I can start to play around with these numbers, you know, and say, okay, you know, let's get this up to 15 and see if it makes a difference. It didn't. But you can, especially if you're tight on money, you can start to make changes here to say, you know what? That extra 2 students isn't worth the fact that I'm going to have to build a whole nother room or something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this back to default. Too far. Okay, so the default is no bonus happiness, 0%. We'll bring in 10 new students. Now again, I have read in some guides, a lot of people like to run multiples of 8 here. Because if you do multiples of 8, your classrooms hold 8. It starts to make the math work out better as far as people going to classes and stuff like that. So if we wanted to, we could set that to 8. We could set this one to 8. It's going to increase our smartness levels of our students. Oh, and it did make a difference. So notice that by doing that, I'm bringing in 16 students as opposed to 20. So less tuition, but I don't have to build the second lecture room. By doing because remember, a classroom can hold 8 students. Well, I have to run more classes to accommodate 10 new students as opposed to 8. Now I'm going to guess if I come in here and add one more student. There we go. Now I need to build another lecture theater because I don't have enough spaces for them to be and to learn because they have a cap of 8. So if you start to manipulate these things, you can change what's needed. So let's go ahead and do that. We still need a teacher and we still need a VR lab. There's nothing we can do about those things. So let's go ahead and confirm those choices. And we need to do a little bit of reconfiguring here. Let's see if we move. What's in the way? Looks like our poster. Move that over there. Move our door over there. And then same thing here. Do I have anything on the inside? Doesn't look like it. We'll slide this door over there. And then we'll move that over there. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to lose that, so we'll put it. There we go. Put it there. Can I wedge a VR lab in there? That's what we're going to try to do. Okay, soon we'll have another group of students joining the campus. It's important to expand our ever-growing student body. Buy a new plot for your second year on campus. Okay, so it gives us something else to do. Actually, can I... what's it hitting on the inside there? There we go. All right, so let's start to meet VR lab. This has to be at least 5 by 4. What do we got in here? We got 6. We'll make it 6 by 5. So we got the VR machine here. Stick that right in the center. We've got, what else is needed? That's all that's needed. So we'll go ahead and build that room. And then same thing, kind of a rinse and repeat here. Now we have to decide, okay, what do we want to add to this room? Notice we got a nice big jump in prestige there. We'll get a jump here, but it's not going to be as much. Also, we want to look, those don't do anything. This object here increases the learning power. So we'll take a look at that. What does this one do? Nothing. So this is a VR chair. We'll put a couple of those over here. That looks great. Let's check attractiveness. None of that's impacting attractiveness. Okay, let's go over to this mode. So these are just like everything else, where when I add one, you're going to notice that the learning power went up 2%. It adds 2%. When I add a second one, I get to 4. 6. And let's throw some over here. Now you're seeing the diminishing returns start to kick in. So there's 7. We got 2 out of that one. Only 1 out of that one. 11, 12. I'm going to guess we're going to get just... We didn't even get an incrementation that time. So depending on how much you want to spend, you know, you can increase that. But usually what you're going to want to try to find is where is your money versus need versus room size and stuff like that. Now, the other thing to notice is in this room, you know, we also are very, very little change in prestige, again because of the diminishing returns, right? So oftentimes I'll try to find a target. So for this room, I might say, you know what, I'm going to go for, I don't know, let's go for 10%. So, you know, I got to 6 pretty easily. We'll space those out a little bit so they look a little prettier. And let's come back in here. That gets us to 7, 9. Oh, let's move this one of those chairs over.
Yes, we are testing you.
We'll make it pretty in a minute. All right, so that got me to 10. And that might be where I'm comfortable, right? You can keep stacking stuff if you want. All right, so let's put that chair there. We'll put this chair here. And just to make it so all the people can see the cool VR stuff going on, we'll throw some windows on that wall. And again, here's where we're kind of a little bit stuck. We'll get some hand sanitizer in here. We'll get ourselves a waste bin so they don't litter. And there's not a lot I have access to now to increase my prestige, so we'll poster it up here a little bit. So we'll throw a poster there, poster there. Let's go back to this. Can I put, yep, so it looks like I can hide posters behind those, so that's good. We'll do the same thing on this side, hide a poster, hide a poster. At this point, my prestige is kind of capped out. But what I'm really looking for is this attractiveness level. Where would be a dark spot? Let's center one over here. There, that got us to 100. So level 6 room. The room has plus 10 learning power. And some equipment for the people to use. Not too bad. I think we'll take that. Alright, what else do I need? Select a pot and a plot and a teacher. So let's look at our hiring. So notice now, I've got new teachers coming in. I'm not taking the littering teacher. That one's not too bad. I don't know what Dirty Snake is. So here's a choice you'd have to make. Is the buff for comic relief worth the fact they're going to litter more? Probably. Yeah, could take them. Now, here's where you can... Basically, time has no meaning in the mode we're in right now. So if I want to, I could easily just sit here and just be like, nope, don't want that one. Oops, there we go. Don't want that person. Don't want that person. And I can just keep basically letting this refresh until I find the one that I want. It really depends on how crazy you want to get with the min-maxing, right? Like, this is a pretty good teacher here. It's probably the one I would take if I'm looking to move forward. The only thing is they litter. But if I want, again, we're in summer break. Time has no meaning here. So I can just let this keep refreshing new teachers in and just keep waiting for the one I want to get. It really depends on how much time you want to spend on this particular mode. Let's go ahead and hire this teacher though. I am going to pause here. Now teachers, you can't tell them where to teach. They teach based on their specialty. But you can, once you get farther in, you got tutoring and research, you can make them teach or not teach in those kind of modes. But I think Oh, we still have to buy a plot of land for campus expansion. Oh, let's see. What do we got access to? That one's 15 to 20. That one's 15 to 20. Okay, so there's two ways that you can do this. And let's go ahead and I'm going to save. Version number 1. I can buy the plot. Oh, it won't let me do it in this side. You can buy the plot empty. And it's just going to unlock this land. And then you can build a building. Right? Like if I want to. And this is different than 2 Point Hospital. If you come here to the bottom. If I want to build a building out here. I can build that building. Right? I can add doors to it. So I could build a separate dorm room or something like that. So if you want to. It's confused that. But I can buy this plot of land with no building on it. Now this mode isn't letting me do that because it's walking you through kind of the tutorial, but in the future you can. If you look at this white outline, if you buy it with the building, this is where it's going to pre-put a building for you. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now in pause mode, nothing's going to change, but let's unpause here. And it'll go through like this little construction animation where it'll put up the fence. It'll wipe out all the stuff on the inside. I think it turns into a dirt lot eventually, if I remember right. There we go. So, it's basically taking out all the old landscaping. And then I think does it re-landscape next? Yep. So it puts in all the new landscaping. And then it's going to put up the new building. Put up the doors, add the features, and so it does all that for the money. Saves you from having to do it.
It seems as though the crowd have got their hands on an inflatable and indeed
there we go.
Enormous bassoon. I'm a little lost.
Before you start a new year, be sure to check any unresolved campus requirements. We're actually pretty good there. Now, something that happened while we were doing that is if you look down here, our campus level is level 6. By doing that, we gained course points. So if during the summer break, this is just there we go. That was just a bug. If I wanted to buy another plot of land or add another room, right? Like I can take, like if I take this, I could just copy this room and we'll put one over here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do enough to do this, but let's just do a test here. We don't need any of this, so we'll probably just end up deleting it, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to get it far enough. But if you do enough improvements on your campus, notice every time I plop one of these guys down, this is going up. And if I do enough improvements, I could level. I'm pretty close. Can we throw another dorm in? Do I have room over here? Yeah, that's... Oh, what's invalid? Oh, I've locked... the door? Can they not get to the door?
There's a fly in here.
Oh, yeah, they can't get to that door. Okay, we're not going to keep this anyway, so we'll just move this. We'll move the door. There we go. Sure. Okay, so we went to level 7. So now notice I have 20 course management points. So I could go in here. And again, in normal mode, we're still kind of in tutorial mode. I could go ahead and now upgrade one of these classes, which will get me more students, which will, it's kind of that cycle. Okay. Let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and just sell the mess that we made over here because I don't want them to use those rooms either. The nice part about this, again, we don't lose any money because you get all your money back for that. Okay, the other thing I am going to do though, just in case people wander over here,
Maintenance announcement.
is we're going to at least make it pretty. Now again, this is pretty much a waste. What else do we need? 99. That corner needs a little. Oh, that corner could use some. There we go. That should get us there. Okay, so now in case anybody decides to wander into that building, it'll look pretty for them. All right, I think that's what we're going to call it. So we made it through the first year. Hopefully you have a better idea of how things work and some of the mechanics. From here on out, let's check to see, did we unlock anything here? We did not. I'm going to go ahead and save. And then we can exit back to what's called the map. So basically we have to get through and make it to a 1-star campus. And once this becomes a 1-star campus, it'll start to open up other campuses. I think in my testing grounds playthrough, let's take a look at that one. We'll go back to the main menu. And we will load up the testing grounds. There we go. So this is just the save I've been trying stuff out on, trying to figure out the way the game plays. So if you look up here, right, this is the campus that we were just on. So if I open this up, it's a mess right now. I think I was right in the middle of testing how far students would walk. So I've got all the dorms across the canal. And it's in progress, and I didn't really finish it. So, but we'll take a look at it here real quick. All right, so you'll see this one. I was trying a couple things. First off, this was the main building. That's the entrance. Remember, it had all that grass out here? So I've expanded this building. That's the building we just purchased. There's another building over here. And I was in the middle of moving stuff over here. I got this giant dorm room. I got another dorm over here. I was trying to test where the people walk, where I need to put doors to get them to flow. So, again, I literally use this playthrough as a testing grounds, right? So this one's a much bigger room. You can see, this is like the student lounge. Some of the video games, and you can see me stacking posters because at this point I didn't have a lot of stuff yet. There's a huge VR room that I was playing around with. Now if we go back to our map, we won't save anything there. Nothing really happened. And so now we can, go to, this is our next campus, and you work to get the 3-star ratings. Once you get 1-star rating, it unlocks kind of the next one. So this was the last one I was playing. Let's go back though to this one. This is the jousting one. And I'll show you just kind of some of how I got my room prestiges to work. And this is all stuff we will cover as we get to it from week to week as well. I'm thinking next week we should be able to finish off the next 2 or 3 years and get to level 3 on the starter campus, because now it's mostly just practicing what you've been taught from here on out. Okay, so this campus is bigger. You can see we've got jousting fields out here. We've got combat training. But so here is this is a student union, I believe. Yep, student union. It's got concert stage. You can actually schedule events. So one of the things that they add eventually is, if you come into, you can actually schedule films and parties and all kinds of stuff that happen here. But if you kind of look at, the way some of these things are set up, like here, I've stacked these things that increase the medical stuff, the medical power of the room. If we go into our dorm, you're going to notice, look at all the different posters. I do that to increase the prestige. If we look at the prestige level of this room, it's 12. My rent is $100,000 for this. Now it's got more beds in it. But you'll start to see that kind of stuff, right? Where, I'm doing this also, again, if you look at the attractiveness rating, it increases that as well. But all these posters and paintings and stuff that are on the wall is a manipulation of those kind of things. You can get bigger check-in desks and stuff like that. These are upgraded. So these are like level 3, which increases the, there we go, 50% learning power because those are upgraded. So it kind of gives you an idea of what a bigger campus can look like. This one has a lot of stuff outside, which is a little bit of a different style. If we go back to the map, let's go back one campus because I think that one's mostly inside stuff. And it might be the magic one. I can't remember. What's before this one? Mitten. I can't remember. Let's take a look. I think this is the magic, where you learn magic. And once this thing loads up, I can't remember how far or how expanded this one is. I think this one's multiple buildings as well. This one also has a temperature issue. We'll take a look at that real quick, if I remember right. All right, we'll pause this. All right, so this one is cold. So you'll notice that outside I've got heat lamps. Inside the rooms, let's find one. This is a radiator to provide heat for the room. So temperature is a whole nother thing that you have to keep track of on this one. So this one I was expanding out. So you notice I've got a lot of buildings. It starts off with this section here. Oh no, this is robots. I think you build robots in this one. So, you know, we've got some robot labs here. We got some more robot labs here. More robot labs here. We got our lecture rooms. So we got 3 lecture rooms there. This is the private tuition room up here. This is a dorm. So you see I've got 3 dorms in there. This is the student lounge and student union. Some bathrooms. And I think I was just starting to play around up here with this one. So, you know, here I've got another. Oh, I think this is research. That's training to train your staff. Here's a staff break room. I even built like a little half wall so students can't look inside and stuff like that. So that's some of the stuff that we'll get to as we go through our playthrough. Oh, also, this one, the year must have just started or ended. So these are our graduating students. So again, he's level 19, level 16. I don't know how good any of them are, but so there you go. So let's go ahead and cut out. Oh, also on this one, I'll show you this. So here you can see where, like here, some of these I've actually finished the requirements to get these career goals. So I've hit 890 career goals to get you the extra kudosh money. All right, I'm going to probably try to start putting together some smaller videos just on tips and tricks. So if that's something that you are interested in seeing, like how I build out a, you know, like where's one of my super lecture rooms that I've got in this, like here. So if you look at this lecture room compared to the one that we had built, right? We've got these speakers and these teleprompters shoved in here. I've built this out because all of those things add to the teaching power of the room. So there's a 64% learning power. Part of that's the upgrade there as well. So I think I'm going to start like picking rooms and building out tutorials on how to build those, you know, and different things like that. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and drop down in the comments. If you struggled with something, you want to know something about the game, anything along those lines. But again, same thing, right? Stacked posters. My room prestiges are really high. That helps with the learning and stuff as well. So that's kind of my plan for this series. Is we're just going to play through sequentially what the game has to offer. But I do think I'm going to do some side videos on how to do little things, like little one-off tips and tricks. So if there's any of that kind of stuff you want to see, let me know. But beyond that, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night. So hopefully you enjoyed 2 Point Campus. I know I do. And so with that being said, as always, go watch, play, or create something great. Hopefully you can join me this weekend. We'll continue our Star Wars The Old Republic series for Extra Life. So we stream every Saturday trying to raise money for Extra Life. If you are interested in donating to Extra Life, I'm not streaming Tuesdays necessarily for Extra Life. But if you go to extra-life.org and search for Deconstruction Gaming, you'll find my Extra Life page. Extra Life is a group that raises money for the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. So I'm always happy to accept donations that go to that great cause and help change the health of sick kids. But that's not the point of this Tuesday night stream. But it's always something that I am interested in. So I did go ahead, hopefully if the bot recognizes it, through the donation link in the chat. So you can see that there. But again, just extra-life.org/ and search for Deconstruction Gaming, you'll find me. But beyond that, hopefully this was fun. Hopefully you enjoyed this game. And if there's anything you'd like to see, please let me know. All right, guys, we'll see you all next week.